What's going on, everybody? It's JetsCentral coming back with another video. And over the next few days, right, in the coming days, the New York Jets are expected to interview Todd McShay, current draft analyst of ESPN. Really famous guy, really popular individual for, putting together mock drafts. He's kind of the Robin to Mel Kiper's Batman. Everybody knows Todd McShay. So the Jets are expected to interview Todd McShay at some point this week, okay, along with Phil Savage, the former Browns general manager, the former director of the Senior Bowl. Phil Savage has he's a well-seasoned veteran, if you know what I mean. He's been around the block a few times. And I have to say, when I first saw this report, when I first read the article, I was actually shocked, okay? I'm shocked that the Jets are going out on a limb. I mean, this organization is changing everything. I mean, as far as the general manager goes, the coach, the uniform, everything is changing with this Jets team. And with these, with these possible interviews, it really tells me that the Jets are trying to shake things up. And we've seen it kind of become a trend for teams to look at guys that you can argue aren't really 100% qualified. I mean, we just saw Mike Mayock go from the NFL Network, lead draft analyst to general manager of an NFL franchise. Okay. That was crazy. So we saw Mike, the Raiders and Mayock do it. Then there was rumors that the Jets could be interested in Daniel Jeremiah for a general manager opening. And now we're kind of seeing Todd McShay. So this is definitely a weird time, a really, really weird time for the for NFL fans out there. But I'll say this. Let's talk about Phil Savage first. Okay, kind of my thoughts on Phil. Would I like it if the Jets brought him in for a opening in the front office? Okay, so Phil Savage did not really do well with the Cleveland Browns when he, had full control, when he was the GM of the Browns. He didn't really do that well. The Browns didn't have that much success from 2005 to 2008. Wasn't really anything to write home about. But I did really like his work with the Senior Bowl. That takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes, talent to really go through the crop of the seniors in college football and really putting together, getting everybody to come out. That's a pretty hard job. Okay. And Phil Savage did an excellent job. I mean, how many good NFL players do you see that went to the Senior Bowl? That's because of Phil Savage. Okay, that's because of Phil Savage. Whether you're talking about quarterbacks or running backs like David Johnson, came from a small school. Phil Savage noticed him. He brought him into the Senior Bowl. Then he got big in the Senior Bowl. Dak Prescott goes. He's kind of like that Tim Tebow type of quarterback at Mississippi State. Goes to the Senior Bowl, wins MVP. Fourth round pick to Dallas, and the rest is history. Okay, so Phil Savage does have an eye for talent. Also, he did work under Ozzie Newsome with Baltimore, right? So he spent some time with Baltimore. Remember, Joe Douglas spent some time with the Baltimore Ravens under Ozzie Newsome. So there's a potential connection there. So I would honestly, if the New York Jets were to bring in Phil Savage for a role, not necessarily general manager, but a position at evaluating talent, especially in the college level, I would really, really like that. Now, as far as Todd McShay goes, I have been critical of McShay's mock drafts in the past, right? Especially his 1.0s. I've never really... and granted, Todd McShay, he's making money doing this as a living. Who am I? I'm just a, dude making YouTube videos. I'm just saying that I've never really have seen eye to eye with Todd McShay on a lot of different prospects. But, hey, if he's getting a look for especially a high-ranking job within a front office, with the new general manager coming in the building, that should say something. Okay, that should say that Todd McShay does have an eye for talent. He's not one of those guys that's when he's putting together his mock drafts, he's not just calling teams around the league just saying like, oh, hey, what needs you guys, or like, what are your team needs? Who are you guys kind of looking at? Who are you guys bringing in for an interview? He's not doing that. He's kind of looking through the the crop of college talents, right? The possible first round picks, and pairing them up with each team. So if it comes down to it, I would rather go with Phil Savage over Todd McShay due to experience. I don't think Todd McShay has ever had NFL experience, right? Obviously he's never been a general manager, a head scout for an NFL team. I don't think he's ever been worked with an NFL franchise, and I'm not saying that in a negative light. That's just a fact, right? That's just a fact that Phil Savage has been around the block a lot more than McShay has. So if it came down to it, I would rather go with Phil over Todd. If there's a chance that we could bring both of them in, then great. I feel like this New York Jets team, one of the issues with this Jets team, mind you, over the past few seasons, is an inability to draft talent, especially in the set, from rounds 2 through 7. I feel like the Jets have really struggled in that department. If we could get Todd McShay in the building and he knows what he's doing, if we could get Phil Savage in the building and he knows what he's doing, really developing or finding talent late in the draft, mid to late in the draft, excellent. That's what Joe Douglas is also known for as well. So I'm hoping that the New York Jets can start stacking good draft after good draft after good draft, kind of on top of each other, and we could really build this thing from the ground up. And we could turn into, and I know, this is kind of like a big thought here, but we can possibly turn into the next Seahawks. We could possibly turn into the next Patriots or Steelers, where, we have a random pick in the 5th round, and all of a sudden that player could be a Pro Bowler. That player could be a starter. That player could be the next solid, or next foundational piece for the franchise moving forward. I mean, I envy those teams, right? I envy those teams: the Patriots, the Steelers, the Seahawks, the Saints. That's another team that seems to always do well middle to late in the draft. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you prefer Todd? Do you prefer Phil? Do you prefer both? Do you prefer neither? Let me know your thoughts and also why. It's a really interesting topic, and like I said before, these interviews should be conducted some point this week. I'm not sure if it's today. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow or the following day. I just know it's coming up. And also one last little point I wanted to bring up. I don't know the exact title, the exact job opening, I guess, or the role that they're interviewing for. I don't know if they're interviewing for the same role. I don't know if they, Douglas is viewing Phil in one light and then Todd in another. Do they want to bring in both, or are they just kind of going one or the other? So pretty interesting stuff. Can't wait to see what happens. And as always, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. I know the videos have been slow, dealing with a few personal things as well as not a whole lot going on. It's kind of the dog days of summer. So let me know your thoughts. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and go Jets.